All of them. Every single one.
Every single one that exists.
Periscope?
Yeah, actually not Periscope, because for some reason this thing doesn't let me go on Periscope.
Meerkat?
But
Marco Polo?
Marco Polo. Holy shit.
Polo.
Do we know what episode 84?
Wow.
Is this 84?
Sure.
I think so.
Is it?
Something like that.
Yes.
I believe it. Yeah.
We've been doing this a long time.
I had somebody.
Yes, this is 84. This is 84.
84. I had somebody go. I had somebody at work go, "Wait, you have a podcast? How long have you done that?" I was like, "Oh shit, nearly 2 years."
I would just genuinely be like, no, I don't. That's a different Royden.
No,
It happens to me all the time. It's like, I've been doing this for a while. Actually, it's not been a short amount of time, but it's all right. They trickle in one by one. We'll take them.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna get this Mountain Dew money, and we're gonna go to the moon.
You keep saying that. They haven't responded to one of our tweets.
Okay,
not one.
Pick a better soda to sponsor us. Mountain Dew is horse will. It's awful.
That's the reason.
Sponsor you because you're calling it horse swill.
That's the reason. They're gonna go back and listen to our podcast where you literally called it poison. Like they're not.
Mountain Dew. Can you please set us up with Sprite, a respectable beverage? We would love to be sponsored by.
Yeah, we're taking our talents to the
Coca-Cola
Coca-Cola company.
Yeah, we're going to the Coca-Cola company now.
They're going to call you into Mountain Dew. They're going to call you into Mountain Dew Incorporated and hand you a transcript of your podcast.
What do you think about? What do you think about this?
Well, you ever heard of the One Take podcast?
Also, we cannot be sponsored by Mountain Dew Rise because that stuff I'm sure is giving people cancer, including Dex, who drinks those.
I can't even drink it anymore because I started taking Adderall and like my heart would like burst if I added a Mountain Dew Rise into the mix.
Okay, but like that sounds fun.
Now, if you drank a Mountain Dew Rise on this pod, if you drank one before a pod and then took Adderall, and then we just let you talk for 35 minutes, I would tune into that. I would watch that.
No, let him go.
You be seeing sounds and tasting colors.
Yeah, for sure. You know, just like give me a Florence Pugh movie and just let me rant.
You can hear animals being born from 1,000 miles away.
I'm the new Brother Nature.
Adderall thoughts with Dex. All right.
You guys ever seen?
Man, have you heard about this movie? It's great. Oh my god. Anyway,
we're gonna do the hashtag with support with people.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, episode 84. That's gonna be in our cold open, by the way. This week we were doing the Hangover, but we are joined for another Todd Phillips banger. That's all we're just gonna have you come on and do Todd Phillips movies.
You have brought me.
Holy shit, we have done that.
Yeah.
So have y'all done Joker yet? The third,
no, the movie
in the Todd Phillips trilogy.
We're gonna refuse to actually do Joker.
Have me back on, and I'm going to defend my son Arthur Fleck until I die.
You know what? Eventually, we will have to do that movie. We had a diatribe about it on like our very first podcast, and we brought it up in like 18 podcasts since. So we will eventually have to do that movie just because how much I think Dex and I hate that movie.
Do we have to though? Because I mean I don't hate it as much as y'all, but I damn sure don't need to watch it again. I don't need to watch it again. Dex hates it. He hates it.
I despise that movie.
It's just not good.
I think it is. It has the worst messaging of any.
Okay,
why don't we just cut out the middleman and just do Taxi Driver instead? That's actually a good movie.
I've actually never seen Taxi Driver. I was tweeting about
it. It's the same. It's the same movie except for it's not a comic book movie. But all this messaging is exactly the same.
Or King of Comedy.
Are there clowns?
Or King of Comedy.
I don't think there are clowns in Taxi Driver. From the brief,
there are no clowns in Taxi Driver. No.
The last movie we had Derek on for, we're joined by Derek Foltz. The last from Start of the Plot. The last movie we had Derek on for was Project X. And this movie is significantly better. We're doing The Hangover. Yes. This movie is significantly better than Project X.
This movie is actually a movie and not just a bunch of random people just getting drunk.
This is, in fact, a movie. We checked.
Yeah, I looked up in the dictionary the definition of movie, and it just said "see The Hangover," and I was like, all right.
That's not the first one. Spielberg would be like, "Hey, have you seen the Hangover film?
Scorsese.
Cinema."
Not a theme park ride.
Poetic
This shit is an emotional experience that teaches us something.
Denis Villeneuve comes out of nowhere and he's like, actually, The Hangover, pretty good film.
Denis Villeneuve, you have to see this in theaters.
IMAX.
Yeah. All right, Derek, how we doing though? Glad to have you back on.
Good. I'm very, very sleepy. So either you're gonna get like sleep deprived, like late night hours, Derek, or I'm just gonna fall asleep in the middle of this. So we'll see how it goes.
Molding young minds and talking about The Hangover, two things that go hand in hand.
Being a cult leader is so hard.
All right, anybody? Dex, you've had a week. We're already drinking on this. We get sleep deprived Derek in drinking Dex, and so this is gonna be this is gonna be a banger.
The second drink of the night, and I've got a couple more like just sitting here ready to go in a minute. It's been a time this week. Nothing happened, and that's part of the problem that nothing happened. But we're here. Tomorrow's payday.
You ever suffered through an uneventful week?
Every
what is happening
of my life?
Wow. I watched Squid Game and I was like, damn, life is hard. That sucks.
Man, that show is not easy to watch.
Ooh, I got 27 minutes left in that show, and I just don't want to dive back in.
How much violence? I feel like Dex.
All right,
9 episodes.
I have 9 hours left.
Yeah, that's the thing too. People were like, "Oh, have we binged watched Squid Game
one night?"
In what? It's 9 hours of content.
9 hours of that. 9 hours of extreme levels of
murder.
No, I can't.
And 9 hours of reading on top of that because it's in Korean. I don't have it, bro. There's not enough Adderall in the world. It's not happening. I'm sorry.
Is that why you started taking
There's not enough Adderall in the world? So you can watch Squid Game. You can watch Squid Game.
So I could read TV shows for 9 hours straight.
So you could look at good screen to read instead of bad screen to read. All right. So we are doing The Hangover. Let's get right. 15 minutes in. Let's get right into it. The Hangover came out in 2009. Goodness. Movie's 12 years old.
It feels like it. It really does.
It feels like it. Yeah, it does.
It is, guys, this is rated R.
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah. No. You can find this on HBO Max, by the way. It is, sorry, let me mute my messages. I'm all of a sudden getting 1,000 messages.
I find it hard to believe they didn't squeeze any boobs in the movie if they were going to get rated R anyway. I find that's a really weird decision.
They did at the end.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
that is part of the movie.
All the like butts and dicks in the actual movie.
And I think you see a Heather Graham boob when she's feeding the baby too.
Yeah, she starts breastfeeding.
Hour and 40 minutes long. This movie is a breeze, to be honest. It goes. They don't really waste any time. All the exposition is pretty much done at the very end of the movie with the slideshow, but it has a 7.7 on IMDb. It has a 73 Metascore. It was 3 buddies wake up from a bachelor party in Las Vegas with no memory of the previous night and the bachelor missing. They make their way around the city in order to find their friend before his wedding. Directed by Todd Phillips, not written by Todd Phillips, and you can tell because it's good writing. Written by John Lucas and Scott Moore. Stars Zach Galifianakis, Bradley Cooper, which is actually kind of shocking when you think about where Bradley Cooper is in his career now. All these other guys, like, okay, but like Bradley Cooper has like 9 Oscar nominations.
This is what like Ed Helms does or whatever. Yeah. Like he's always the same guy at every movie. And then Bradley Cooper, it's like, yeah, that's Jackson Maine. What the fuck?
Yeah. Zach Galifianakis, Justin Bartha, which he got shafted in this. He's just not in this movie.
Is he the straight-laced guy? Is he the guy?
He's Doug. He's Doug. He's the one that's going to get married. Ed Helms. This also kind of was the peak of Ed Helms as well, too. He was filming this in The Office at the same time. Heather Graham, Jeffrey Tambor, and Ken Jeong, and Mike Tyson. Also Mike Epps.
Yeah, shout out to the Mikes.
Rob Riggle makes an appearance in this movie. Brian Callen, Matt Walsh always shows up in Todd Phillips movies. This was a hit, man. This was the comedy hit. $35 million budget, and this was what Todd Phillips was kind of known to do before making bad superhero movies, movies.
It only cost $35 million to make.
$35 million to make. Nearly $470 million at the box office for a hard R comedy. Has a 78% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 84% audience score. With a clever script and hilarious interplay among the cast, The Hangover nails just the right tone of raunchy humor, and the nonstop laughs overshadow any flaw. But yeah, it's.
I need y'all to understand, who are listening on the podcast, the face Derek just made.
That was a wild sentence I just heard.
That's a
Derek
bold claim.
Was stunned.
I've never been gobsmacked by a Rotten Tomatoes review before.
Overcomes any flaw. I do
any
say
flaw.
that is a bold statement to say the least.
I love this movie.
Derek, yeah, we start with the guests. Go ahead, give it a review, give it a letter grade.
All right. So I have to be in the spirit of honesty and transparency with my brothers here on One Take Pod. I did not finish this movie.
How dare you? No,
I know.
You don't have to.
I had like 30 minutes left. I started it while I was getting my hair done today, so it was just like
looking clean though.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wait, you've seen the ending before, right? That like you didn't finish it today, but you've seen the ending, right?
I've never seen this movie.
Whoa! Okay.
Surprise!
That is a problem. That is a problem because the ending is kind of
okay. I will go back and watch it, and then I'll come back on the live stream.
I'm sure you'll be stunned to find out how it ends.
Yeah,
they all die.
Great. That's why they made 3 sequels.
At the end, they all died.
And then they were resurrected in Hangover 2 by the baby. I laughed a lot more than I thought I would. I remember when I was in like high school and junior high, like all of the references that people would make.
Peak like, dude bro comedy. Sorry.
I was gonna say this is the second movie you've brought me on that is like dude bro culture. And it's like that was not my culture growing up. And so it was like getting exposed to it now. I'm like, this is what I was missing out on. I laughed at like those a little bit, but like I laughed more at like the throwaway jokes they had.
Yes,
like the jokes that like a lot of people like didn't like don't quote. It was fine. I was like I don't know. I'd probably give it like a B.
Mm-hmm.
Like a low B, but like a B nonetheless. But like it's good, like it's fine. Obviously, I mean, it does not need to be said, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I'm that person. It does not age well in the year of our Lord 2021. But I mean, regardless, the clever writing overcomes any flaw. So I can look past it. I can look past the homophobic slurs. But I mean, it's fine. Like that's really all I can say about it. Like, it's fine. Like it is funny. It gave us Zach Galifianakis.
Too much after this, actually.
It was the start of the Galifianakis-sance, but I was, Bradley Cooper is me, or like is. I wouldn't say me as a teacher because that could get me fired.
Stealing kids' money and like
I will talk. We will talk about that later because that is so funny. But like I don't know. It's great. It's great. It's a great movie. A+.
I will say this: you were talking about the throwaway jokes. Some of the I texted the group and said the best jokes in this come within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
when they're setting everything up, and he's like walking out of the school, and he's like, "Hey, Missy," he's like, "Don't talk to me. I don't know you.
It is the weekend. You do not exist. I don't know you." Like that is me at like 4:31. I was like, I leave the parking lot. I'm like, I'm not answering any of these kids' emails. I'm like, you don't exist to me.
Yeah, some of the stuff that like setting up all the raunchy humor for later and all the like wild stuff that goes on is fine, but like leading up to that, so that stuff is very, very funny to me. Yep. Just the conversations between them and how weird like Alan is, and like them bouncing back and forth off of, is this dude okay? Like, is he like right in the head? And just all that. Yeah, I agree with some of those throwaway jokes. But to your point about the Dubrow thing, and then we'll get to other reviews. This movie was so popular. It's like Borat, where it was like, it was people's personality. You know what I mean? It was just, what was your comedy? Oh, I quote The Hangover.
Yeah.
I knew so many kids that were way too young to watch this movie.
Right.
That were quoting, he's jacking his little weenus multiple times throughout the day. And we were in like 8th grade, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like what that doesn't.
What are we talking about?
That doesn't sit well with me. But now I'm like, as an adult, I'm like, okay, so I might have been missing out on something. Who knows? We'll never know.
Tej, go
ahead. This movie is. I went into this. I've seen it before. I went into this to say, how badly has this aged? This movie is old as the hell. It came out in 2012. This movie is going to age poorly.
2009.
2009. Sorry. And while some of it has aged poorly, not all of it has. I agree with Royden at the beginning. First of all, the way that they set up the unspooling of the plot of this movie is just good. It's just like super compelling to kind of have a story where the characters are learning things as you learn things. It's just like a cool way to tell a story, especially when the world around them is interacting with it in a way that's, based on what happened the night before, but nobody knows what happened the night before. It's just like a cool way to tell a story. I also think that the throwaway jokes in this movie are what makes it. When they're riding in the car with the top down going to Vegas, and the main character Doug says, "Am I okay over there?" And Zach Galifianakis just goes, "Yeah." That's so funny. And I also I completely understand why Zach Galifianakis became a thing, because he like kind of makes the movie like, we don't really need the Andy Bernard character. He's literally just Andy Bernard from The Office. If you want to see that character, you can just watch The Office. So the Zach Galifianakis character is like, oh, we've never really seen a character like this. He's like might have like some kind of illness, mental illness, or he might have he's just like socially weird, but also like kind of has the heart of gold, but also just like super laughing at himself. The character just works. The character just makes every situation funny. It's hilarious that they were roofied by this character and he didn't know about it. Like, that just makes the whole thing funny. So I found myself laughing more at this movie than I thought I would. This movie came out in 2009. I was in college at the time. Sorry, I had just graduated from college. No, I was in college at the time. When the hell did I graduate from college? I graduated from college in 2008. So this is after I graduated from college. I was in law school. So I was like past that part of my life where I was like doing the crazy shit that they were doing in this movie, but also not really, because all my law school friends were crazier than my college friends. So this movie has a special place in my heart. And Bradley Cooper is just the coolest person alive. He's just like Brad Pitt in a role. Like, Bradley Cooper literally just plays a cool ass guy who keeps his head in these situations. Crazy shit is happening, and like somebody's shooting at their vehicle, and he's just like, "Fuck this! We're getting the fuck out of here!" Like he's just like he's like a school teacher, but he's kind of just comfortable in some of these more seedy criminal elements. He just kind of, well, at least more comfortable than the other two characters, and that role just works so well for him, especially because we've seen him play that kind of character. It's like we've seen him in Limitless, we've seen him in these other movies where crazy shit is happening, and he's just like Bradley Cooper, so he's got to maintain his cool, but also, holy shit, everything's going wrong. And he's just really good at that, and I just really enjoyed watching him in this movie.
He is like go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm done. I would say I would give it a solid B. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would going back into it, having not seen it in probably a decade.
He is like low key, like a big time sleaze bag too. Because they go back, because they go back and he's like okay with like, I mean, dude's go to Vegas and strippers and everything else, but he's just like goading these guys into like doing a bunch of seedy shit. And like he's okay with like everything that's kind of going on. You're a school teacher. Like,
yeah, I didn't realize. I thought he was joking about having a wife and kid at first when that like first happened in the movie, because he doesn't act like a person who has a wife and kid at all. And then you get to the end of the movie and you're like, wait.
Like, he's like covering his kids' ears from like hearing fuck and shit.
You're like, what the fuck? I think like, how?
I think the fact that he's a wife guy and he has a kid and he's a school teacher, I'm like, no, that all makes perfect sense why he's like a criminal.
I
Just like
also just the finesse God, just him being like, yeah, you got it. Put on your credit card. Like, what? No.
It's like they listen to everything they listen to everything he does because he's like hot, and they're just like, he's just like, yeah, okay, absolutely, listen to Bradley Cooper. But it was such a weird career path for Bradley Cooper because he kind of been kind of this side character in a lot of things. He was in a lot of episodes of like Nip Tuck. He was in some like throwaway comedies. He was in Alias for a long time. And he was like the douchebag in Wedding Crashers. And then all of a sudden he gets this role, and this raunchy rated R comedy is like what propels him and Zach Galifianakis pretty much. It actually propelled all of them, Ed Helms and Galifianakis, all to heights that I think that they weren't experiencing at the time. And enough so that they were making millions of dollars to come back for these sequels, like tens of millions of dollars to come, plus like points on the box office and stuff.
I wonder how much Doug got paid to come back, because you don't really need to pay that actor. I'm not saying anything about him as an actor, but like Doug is literally like is not in the film. Like he's barely in the film. Yeah. Nobody cares about Doug. I mean, they care about Doug, but we don't care about Doug at all. Like we don't care about Doug.
Doug is a plot device.
It's just weird.
Doug is a plot device. That's actually really, and like Justin Bartha is like a funny dude. Like I know it's not like but like he's the comic relief and national treasure and shit like that. Like it not the same as this movie, but well, kind of. But the thing with that is just you have to imagine, and they do the same movie in Hangover 2, but like Doug is just like not there. He shows up and then he's just not there, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to suck for that guy that all these guys, and like Justin Bartha has been around for a long time, but like it has to suck for him that all these guys got propelled into superstardom pretty much, and he is just kind of like, hey, I'm here also.
I was on the roof. Surprise.
Yeah. I was on the roof the whole time, guys. You remember me? It's like, no, I don't.
Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this movie in a long time either. Obviously, like 2009, I think I was a freshman in high school when this came out. So obviously this hit my high school like a bomb. Like everyone was quoting The Hangover. And, in 2009, we said a lot of words we don't say anymore. And so, there were a lot of quotes that we wouldn't use anymore. But watching this movie, I actually like appreciated it more like just as a movie than I did before. Like at first I thought it was like, oh, it's just a bunch of jokes that are fun and like that's the whole thing or whatever. But watching it this time, I was like, wow, this is actually a really good way to like structure a story and like to tell you things as an audience. And like the setup of this movie is actually really good, where they bring you into the desert and they tell you, we lost our friend, like we don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, and then you go on, like you go backwards into this journey with them, but they don't know what else happened either. It's like just a really well-structured movie. The writing is really good, apart from, using words we don't use anymore, but that's not their fault. They didn't know. But
big F and R words in this
immediately, like from the beginning, it's like, oh, we are in 2009, baby.
Within 15 minutes.
We are back. It was the wild, wild west. We're sorry. We apologize.
We're listening. We're learning.
Todd Phillips, he would still make those jokes. He don't care.
Yeah. Todd Phillips would still do all that shit. But
I'm surprised we didn't hear any slurs on Joker. Just gonna be honest.
I fuck that movie. Anyway. Yeah, man. I just watched this like at home by myself tonight, like on my iPad or whatever. Like I wasn't sitting here like laughing my ass off at anything that happened in the movie, but I was like just watching it and being like, yeah, I remember why that was funny. I remember why I loved that as a ninth grader. And like, it restored the feeling a little bit. And that's all you can ask for from a raunchy comedy from 2009. I give it like a B-.
Yeah, it's like Todd Phillips watched Memento and was like, I'm gonna try to recreate that, but he's just not that good of a filmmaker. So it's just like no, but it really is a movie that has been tried to be. It tried to be replicated since, either with the storytelling, like for comedies, like the storytelling structure or the raunchiness of Vegas and all that stuff. Like they've been making Vegas stuff for a millennia, but you know, the raunchiness of that, or using the Zach Galifianakis weirdo character in all of your stuff, where it's like, all right, we're just going to place this weirdo in the middle of this. But like nobody can really do it like he did it in this movie. And in subsequent sequels, it got way too much. And
they leaned into it too hard.
Way too much.
Oh my God.
I remember the third one of these movies is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, actually. And because it's mostly just Zach Galifianakis and Ken Jeong, which also he got elevated to levels that he would have never been to. He was a doctor before he got this movie.
And he loves to remind us that
did nothing funny in this film. Nothing about the Ken Jeong character in this film is funny. And they said, fuck that. Let's keep doubling down and tripling down and bring him back. And he's not even funny in the front. He is not funny at all.
Yeah, watching this movie this time made me think, like, did I actually think Ken Jeong was funny when I watched this the first time? Like, Ken Jeong in this movie, like, I loved him in Community, right? But like in this movie, I was like, literally nothing he's done has been funny. Like,
I was about to say, like, was this the start of the Jeong Assance, or was it?
No, I think this was like his first. Not his first. It was like his first big movie role.
This is when we all learned who Ken Jeong was.
Yeah.
Like, was this before Community or after Community?
Before.
Okay.
When he hops out of the trunk and he's naked, like that part is funny, but anyone could make that funny because you just don't know what to expect at that moment. But everything he does after that is, I mean, I was deadpan.
The character is very racist. Like it's very like stereotypical. Extremely. But the you fuck on me thing is very funny to me. I don't care what it is. And he's like, no, we're not gonna fuck on you. It's just it was funny to me in the time and still kind of funny now. But after that, it doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, people always quote, "Oh, it's funny because he's fat," is the quote from that people always take away. And I think people were just like, just took away like, oh, it's a racist character and it's funny to laugh at racism in 2009. And that's what people, I think, took away from it back then.
And I think like Gay Boys was a lot funnier in 2009 than it is now.
Yeah.
Oh, the chokehold that "See You Later, Gay Boys" had over teenage boys.
No, was it Toodaloo Gay Boys? But yeah, that character was like, and of course, like I said, some big F words, some big R words, which that sound, the paging doctor, got repurposed actually on TikTok and became like a popular sound again. It was like, okay, what are we doing here?
Really?
They're reclaiming it. They're taking it back.
Like, you know what? I am a doctor.
Like gay people are using it, or
some, but I think it's mostly people that are just being
great.
Yeah, bringing the humor, bringing the feeling back.
They said we long for simpler times.
This also is one of those movies that I think people like. Like I said, some of the simpler jokes, some of the passing by jokes are way funnier than some of the like, oh shit, it's a fucking tiger, and like that kind of stuff. And Mike Tyson knocking him out is still funny, and all the big gags and stuff are still funny. But I think the simpler jokes are where this movie actually lands. But to say that this is a movie where people will be like, oh, you can't make movies like that anymore. People just don't like comedy or whatever. And you can't really do it. It is one of those movies where you couldn't make this today. Yeah. Just take out some of the racism and some of the slurs and it actually still a funny movie.
I fucking hate that take, man. I hate that take because it's almost never true. Like,
the funniest part about it is Todd Phillips has made that same exact argument recently.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an interview and he like went off on cancel culture and he was like, oh, people just don't like comedy anymore. I was like, no, we hate like shitty comedy. Like, I was like, racism and slurs are like not funny anymore.
Yeah, the whole joke can't be like that you said a slur. Like you have to have another joke. Like it's not.
I was like, that's not a joke. You're just being a dick.
You're just saying a slur. Like that's not funny anymore. Like we moved on from that.
Yeah, I will say the movement between set pieces though, how quick it goes. Like, all right, where are we going? We got to go to the police station. Oh, or they were arrested. Oh, we got to go to the hospital. It's between get a map and fuck off
Yeah.
is really funny.
Yeah,
And
the
then
pacing of this movie is on point. It's like one thing gets solved and then boom, another problem immediately.
Like if this movie were 2 hours, it'd be unbearable.
True.
But like I think the fact that it is like a really like almost tight like hour 30.
And also, also them just not telling you what happens into what happened to them is like a good thing because you don't need to see it. And then just saving it up to like a montage at the end is a little good, it's a good filler. But like what the fuck happened last night? Well, we're just not going to tell you. You're just going to have to be along for the ride.
Yeah. Fill in the blanks yourself. Make it cool.
Yeah, exactly. And, everybody likes to think, this also spawned, I will say, the let's go to Vegas sort of thing. Like, I don't think Vegas has been as popular since this movie. But there definitely was like Vegas had to have been like, thank God. Like, Vegas doesn't need any more publicity, but they're definitely probably like so many people went to Vegas after this movie. Let's get blackout drunk in Vegas, which is probably dangerous, actually.
So many people went to fucking Caesar's Palace and asked for the villas after this movie.
There's so many holes in this movie. Like, at the very end, I texted the group message. I said, the trip from Vegas to Los Angeles, like downtown LA, which they probably don't live there, but like downtown LA, it's like 4.5 hours. 420 is what I saw. Like, they're like, we got three.
Right. There's always a shitload of traffic though getting out of LA, but once you're out of LA, it's about 4 hours.
Yeah, they're like, we got 3.5 hours to get there. They would have had to gone 110 miles an hour to like shave off an hour off of this trip to get to the wedding in time.
And they stopped to put on their tuxes. Like, there's no way you're making that. You're not.
Yeah.
Okay,
especially on a Sunday. Like, you're not making that. You're not making that.
But with a wedding though, like me watching that, I was like, every wedding I've ever been to is like an hour, 2 hours late. Like, it's like that's just what it is. Like, we're on CPT.
An hour
baby.
to
like,
2 hours,
buddy. I gotta tell you, at my wedding, not happening. Like that.
Great, thank you so much.
Y'all are gonna
at 5.
Yeah,
y'all black people are getting married. If the wedding says it starts at 5, she's not walking the aisle until 7:30.
Caitlin Watley has that down. We got to take pictures at the golden hour or whatever. Like we are taking pictures at a certain time.
So them waiting like on them to get to the wedding or whatever. I was like, that's just what it is.
I will say, after all just talking about it, and I actually had a really good time rewatching this movie. I got it for what it is. I gotta give this movie an A-. Actually, I really, really enjoy this movie, and it's one of the better comedies to come out in the 2000s for sure. I mean, did it spawn a lot of things? Like, did it become people's personality? Yeah. Did it also give us more Bradley Cooper? I'm fine with that. Yeah, yes. It propelled Bradley Cooper. So
it's kind of insane that Bradley Cooper became like executive producer, director, like serious Oscar bait.
Absolutely insane.
It is the monkey's paw of Hollywood. It's it's like the dude, bro. Like, we get more Bradley Cooper and he gets a better career, and then the finger goes down, and then all of a sudden a bunch of 14-year-olds are quoting The Hangover. It's like we get and we give.
People are wearing shirts with Zach Galifianakis and a baby in a onesie. Like, that was the fashion in 2010.
Yeah, I will say, that Halloween costume was rampant for years. The white jeans, wolf shirt or whatever. That actually that whole bit is actually really funny. They're all in like suits and stuff, and he's like, "You're not actually wearing that, are you?" What?
And it gave us one of the greatest gifts of all time when he does the poker scene and he starts counting the numbers.
He does. Yep. They rip off. They just blatantly rip off Rain Man.
Yeah, they just ripped off Rain Man.
I will say, I actually took some notes on this, and starting with at the very end and just being like, "Hey, we fucked up," is like a great way to start a movie. Yeah, I think it's a really good way to actually start a movie, and then also it can't be bad to start your movie when you're starting with the hottest person on screen is Bradley Cooper, and you're just like, all right, we're just in.
We're in a desert outside of Vegas. I'm on board immediately. I need to know what happened.
Oh, you were talking about Bradley Cooper. I thought you meant Jeffrey Tambor.
Jeffrey Tambor.
I thought you meant the white.
I will say this though. That's a funny bit in this too. Is Jeffrey Tambor? I don't know if he's Big C canceled or not, but like is him just being completely understanding just what happens. He's just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
The Hangover 2 should have been a prequel about Jeffrey Tambor's character.
Right.
Give me more.
I love Jeffrey Tambor. Wait, what is he canceled for?
What did he get canceled for before?
Was it that Transparent show?
Well, he wasn't canceled for Transparent, but what I remember him getting, like, it was like in the Hollywood scope of things, it was like Big C canceled, but in like society, it was like a little C canceled. Jessica Walter told a story about like how hard he was to work on set with.
That's right.
And like how he like verbally abused her a lot, like on set, and she was crying during this interview. So
apparently he's an asshole. So like
that sucks because Curb is incredible television.
Allegedly,
cast is one of the best casts ever assembled.
Arrested Development,
white people. That show is incredible.
Curb is white excellence.
Yes, facts.
So yeah, I think I don't know. This movie is just fun to me, man. I think it's just a really fun movie. But I will say, I think the hardest joke I ever laughed at is just him stealing the children's money and then just being like, "Give me all your money. It's fine. Like, we're gonna get this in." And then just being like, and then when he's walking out, he's like, "Don't talk to me, nerd. I don't know you." I know he said, "Get me out of here before one of these nerds try to talk to me."
I as an adult watching this movie and like watching him steal the kid's money and then make the other guy put the hotel room on his credit card, I was just like, this dude's a fucking scumbag. You can't come with me no more. Like, you're out of here.
He was stealing $95 from kids, and I'm like, there's no telling like how many kids he got money from, and he's still like, hey, put that $4,200 on your credit card.
And he's just like, it'll be fine. We'll settle it at the end. There's no way they settled that.
He's still making people pay for the gas. Like, he's not even trying to step up, even though he quite literally stole thousands of dollars from these students. Like, he's a complete piece of shit.
Like, I was watching this movie, and like, as a first-year teacher, I saw him do that, and I was like, oh my god, the legal ramifications. And then I was like, wait, he doesn't care.
I was thinking about my man's credit. Like, I get you're a dentist, but hey, bro, at some point, like, too much.
Also, for a dentist, is $13,000 in savings like? That feels like low for he's like, how much money are you gonna like? Yeah, $13,000. He's just like, okay, so that you can rent a villa for that? Like, what do we like? He's fine.
He can rent a villa on his credit card. Like he's got just thousands sitting on that Amex. He's got the black card.
Oh. Well, also he goes, we got $80,000 in Caesar's ships at the very end of the movie, but they don't cash them out. He just like drives back to LA with them. So it's just like, what?
Well, he's gonna. Andy Bernard or whatever his name is in this film is going back to see Heather Graham in a couple of weeks, so he'll probably just cash it.
Yeah, I can cash them out. I can do that. $80,000, bro. I can go get that. Right.
There are worse reasons to make that drive again than to go hang out with Heather Graham when you're dating the literal worst woman on earth. I hate the girlfriend character.
They make her very hateable, to be honest.
Yeah, but why don't we write her like they don't even make her like fully fledged. She's not even a 3D person. Like, no, she is quite literally just a talking squawk box that gets on this guy's nerves. Like, it took me out of the movie every time she was on screen. I was just like, I'm out of the movie, and then at the end she starts saying "go fuck yourself" jokes, which are like, okay, those are kind of funny, but like this character had nothing to offer in this film until the very end. Every time she's on screen, I was like, I'm out of this movie. I'm out. The character makes no sense. She's just like a complete nobody would marry somebody like that. She's horrible.
This movie perpetuates the like stereotype that straight people hate being married, because it's like they are just like Ed Helms, Bradley Cooper. They're like miserable, and it's like you're so happy. Like Ed Helms is so happy that he's about to propose to his girlfriend, but at the same time they're like, oh, this ball and shit, like this old bitch, and it's just like, no, like,
this old bitch.
One of the funniest parts in the movie to me that I like never really thought about before was at the end when Zach Galifianakis is like, I'm training to be a bartender.
Right.
To be a bartender. I'm gonna get my bartender license.
Hey, yo, what's up? So what you trying to do?
I'm gonna fuck off. I'm gonna just say, suck my dick. No, thank you.
But also, one thing I kept thinking about was she fucked the bartender on a cruise ship. It happened on a cruise ship. No one had to know about this.
Right.
He's telling everyone.
Yeah. Why did you tell? Why did she tell him? And why did he tell every fucking body?
It seems to lord over him, but this isn't a real person. It's a caricature of men writing women. They're just like, when your wife won't let you go do things or be happy. It's just like
your wife won't let you
careful.
Do things.
People
she goes
do
on
cheat
girls'
on cruise ships. People do cheat on cruise ships.
I wrote down a joke that was very funny, and it's stupid, but it's throwaway. And he goes, not to mention she fucked a sailor. It wasn't a sailor, it was a bartender. And she's scared of semen.
Yeah.
The double entendre, and they're like, huh?
I love how he says, but he didn't even come inside her. It's like, wait, nobody asked that. And also, how does that make it better? How does that make it better?
Did you ask her that when she was giving you the rundown of fucking the bartender?
I'm sure that he did. But why he believed her answer is, why do you believe the answer? Why do you believe that? You can never prove that. You can never go
Dennis,
prove it.
He's stressed. He's like, if his girlfriend's like, oh, but he didn't come inside me. He's like, all right, well,
I can take that.
Fair. No, I think the iconic scene of this movie, and it was on the posters and everything, is them waking up and Ed Helms waking up and his glasses are over here and it's just this isolated camera on him. Like, what the that whole thing is great. And of course, him going into the restroom and peeing near the tiger. But the funniest joke in that is that when he's running around, there's a tiger in there. He's like, hey, Alan, can you put on some pants? I find it weird that I got to ask you twice. He's like, oh, another throwaway joke. She has my grandmother's Holocaust ring. I didn't know they gave out rings during the Holocaust.
Amazing.
I don't know they gave out rings.
Zach Galifianakis, his hitting percentage in this film is incredible.
He lands most of the time.
He's his jokes are just landing. He's throwing 100 miles an hour. Bradley Cooper is great looking and he's cool and he's throwing 100 miles an hour. I could do without Ed Helms and being Andy Bernard. I've seen a lot of episodes of The Office.
Well, you need another straight man there.
Yes, that's true. I feel like obviously Doug is a nothing character. He's just like a complete cardboard box of a white man that they have he's going to get lost on the roof and you won't miss him in this movie because he doesn't offer anything. But the storyline that they give Ed Helms is funny enough that he got married overnight. That's funny by itself. But in terms of Ed Helms, the character, I was just like, I don't need this. I've seen every episode of The Office. I don't really need to see Andy Bernard in this film. And I felt like that at the time. And I felt like that even more now, being a bit removed from that. What else was this guy going to do? He's got one pitch. This is his only pitch. And it was just all right, let's see. We hadn't seen Zach Galifianakis' pitch yet. So it's this is fucking amazing. Whereas we had seen a lot of Andy Bernard. It was just I don't really need Andy Bernard singing songs in this film. It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
Andy Galifianakis. Go ahead.
Andy Galifianakis.
No, he didn't really add. He was like you said, a cardboard. Or no, you were saying Doug was a cardboard cutout, but I also think that Ed Helms was kind of also a cardboard cutout. It's we had a straight man with Bradley Cooper, kind of.
Yep.
I disagree. I think he's the star though. He's your star, and then you have these other characters around him.
But did we know that Bradley Cooper was a star yet? I mean,
no,
he
but
looks
he's
like
hot.
A star.
Right.
Okay,
He looks like a star.
Super hot. He's super hot.
Yeah, no, he could choke me out. I'd let him ruin me financially. But I'd let him charge $4,200 on a credit card. But
you're off the deep end.
Yeah, I'm diving. I'm never gonna meet the ground. But I felt like he was enough of a straight man to where he could have carried that group by itself. And it's I wish they would have heightened Ed Helms' character a little bit more. It's I wish
give him something.
Yeah, it's or if you're gonna make him a docile character, it's amp up the beta male, like docile, like bitch boy, like to 1,000.
I think they needed a character that was like almost the audience.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Audience
like,
person.
Stand-in.
Yeah, Ed Helms is the guy that's like, nah, Doug's probably dead. Like he got killed by
everything is not okay. There is a tiger in here. Like, what are we doing? Like,
we're going to jail. We're going to die. Like Ed Helms is that guy. It just doesn't. I don't know. He's not likable enough for it to work. And then he gets his moment at the end to be like, you know what? My like girlfriend is shit. I don't want to marry her. I'm gonna go marry the hooker. And it's like, nah, I don't really like you that much.
Stripper Dex, come on.
No,
well, she is
was
an
a stripper
escort.
and an escort.
Yeah,
and also Ed Helms said, "I married a whore." He said that in the film, which was would not have gone over well in 2021. It would have been drawn the ire of the crowd. But in 2009, you could say something like that.
2021, so it would have drawn audible boos.
Yes, people would be like, "Is he shaming sex workers?" And then the movie's off the rails.
But also kind of wild how like this 2009 movie makes you be like, yeah, you should go be with the escort. That'll work. I like her. Go be with her.
A dead silent
Why
theater.
did they not have cell phones with the internet? Why is he asking people for addresses and directions when they, like in 2009, you could literally pull out your phone. It might be a flip phone, but probably wasn't a flip phone.
That data charge is wild, my guy.
Put that in your T-Mobile sidekick. You're on your way.
Where are you saying, Derek? Just a silent theater?
Yeah, a silent theater. Just he says, I married a whore. Just ew.
Ew. Disgusting. No,
You cuck.
Yeah. Jesus.
Call him a cuck.
The thing with Ed Helms was doing episodes of he didn't stop doing The Office when he was doing this movie. So he was like flying in and out and getting like 5 hours of sleep every night or something like that.
He had to be busy as hell.
Yeah,
but it's worth it. I mean, obviously it's worth it. Like this is a big opportunity. Obviously he loved the script. And it, like Dex was saying, it's just extremely cool way to tell a story. Yeah. It just happens to also be a comedy, but like it is a cool way to tell a story that we know the ending of the story, or at least we think we know the ending. Really, we got kind of the ending, but then we get to see it all kind of play out. It's just a cool way to tell the story. And I can see why he loved the script for sure.
So this movie plays out exactly like an improv game we used to play at Comedy Sports. It's called Quasi Quest, and it was literally like you start and you need something. You go to a person and they have it, but they can't get to it, so they need something else. You have to go to another person. They have the thing you need, but they can't get to it, and then you have to go to another person. It's like back and forth, and then you have to go all the way back through it again. And I'm just like, oh, this is literally just an improv game. I'm like, Todd Phillips wrote like an hour and a half long improv game.
Yeah, and the set pieces, like I've said, are always funny. And of course, like the Mike Tyson bit, we're talking about cameos. I guess seeing Mike Tyson in 2000, he's around everything now. So it's not, I think this rejuvenated his image a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Because wasn't he like, he had been like in legal trouble and stuff before this. Like it really, and now Mike Tyson's everywhere. He's he's always on, camera and stuff. And we've seen a lot of Mike Tyson immediately. Like he had a Adult Swim show based off of Mike Tyson. So like he's everywhere, and he's been in several movies now. But in 2009, fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
and then
2009,
knocking
like,
him out.
For people our age, like, well, me, Royden, and Derek's age, not Teach's age, but like Mike Tyson was just an idea. Like, you're like, I was just kind of heard about Mike Tyson. You weren't old enough to like actually watch his fights or anything.
Well,
so,
one of us was.
Yeah, I lived it. So
yeah, so for us, Mike Tyson was just like an idea, and then he shows up in The Hangover, and it's like, yeah, it's fucking Mike Tyson. What the fuck? Like
face tattoo and all. Yeah, Tej was at the actual Buster Douglas fight.
Tej was behind Tupac in the car that night.
And he's actually in this movie like more than a cameo. Like he knocks out Jack Galifianakis. What's his character's name? And it doesn't really matter. Alan. Yes, he knocks Jesus. Out Alan. Not you, Fat Jesus. He knocks out Alan, and and then they have to go back to his house. And so he actually acts a little bit more in this. So he's actually kind of a character in this movie. So yeah, and it's really just like, he's like, we all do fucked up shit, or we all do shit when we're fucked up. And he's like, yeah, man, it's just like a majestic animal. I really appreciate it. He's like, why would somebody do like, you probably need to wait outside. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that. So he's actually really good in this, but yeah, just this also kicking off like a Tyson renaissance is weird too.
It was a perfect cameo for a number of reasons, and I think you're right. It definitely reintroduced Mike Tyson back to a certain audience who didn't know who Mike Tyson was, and it is a bit weird though. Even I felt this even at the time, to have Mike Tyson say the line, "Yeah, we all do fucked up shit when we get drunk." This dude has literal rape charges. Like, he's been literally in prison because he drank too much and someone accused him of rape. So to have him say that line is insane to me. And it's not like the line doesn't work, but it's impossible for me to separate because he's playing himself. He's not playing a character. That is literally Mike Tyson playing Mike Tyson. And so to hear him say something like that, which I understand is the point of the film, is just weird, and it will just never not be weird for me because that guy has actually been in some real fucking legal trouble.
That's what I'm saying. He's
not the funny kind. Not the funny
very,
kind.
very fair point. Because I also thought that, but I was like, like I said, in 2009, I was in 9th grade. I didn't know about any of that part of Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It was just him knocking people out, right? So like that part in 2009, I didn't think about it all. But watching it 2021, I was like, ooh.
I will say the funniest thing to me, not the funniest in this movie, but like a scene that still holds up to me is the Taser Cop scene. Like, if we're going to talk about like physical comedy in this, like do the tiger thing or whatever. And I think him knocking out Alan's very funny physical comedy, but the Taser bit gets me every single time because there's a moment when they tase Alan in the face is very funny because he's like trying to get to the kid, and there's a girl in there that screams because she's horrified. It's just like, ah! It's just because he's like doesn't go, sometimes we need to give a little extra juice to the big ones, and he like knocks him out. But it's so funny because it's just like they tase Bradley Cooper in the nuts. They're like, it's just funny to me, man. I don't know. I think it's the best physical gag in this.
Is Rob Riggle funny?
I think in this, yeah. I think he does the same thing. He did the same thing in Step Brothers. He does the same thing. Like, I think in spurts, he's good.
I do love him in Step Brothers. I will give you that. But I also love every second of Step Brothers. It is a flawless comedy. It does not have any flaws.
I feel like I never need Rob Riggle, but like I'm not offended by Rob Riggle's presence. Like, he's just
I'm never ordering Rob Riggle off the menu, but if you bring him as like a free app, then I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, compliments of the chef, Rob Riggle.
Oh, there's some Rob Riggle in this.
Oh, complimentary Riggle.
Rob Riggle. Girl,
Riggle. Riggle me this.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
I mean, 21 Jump Street was already good, but now Rob Riggle's here. Wow!
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean,
he just wriggled his way into this movie. And
oh my god! Oh, that is
incredible.
Too many Riggle puns. Didn't know we were. That's what you get here on the One Take Podcast.
All right, I gotta get
the funniest puns. The funniest physical comedy in this movie is when Bradley Cooper jumps out of the car when they do the meet at the end, and he jumps out like a movie star, and then Zach Galifianakis tries to jump out of the car the same way and falls over. That makes me laugh every time because it's so perfect. They've established this character in a way that's exactly what he would do. He would see Bradley Cooper jump out of the car, like, I'm going to do that, knowing damn well that he's not going to look cool doing it. That's fucking Bradley Cooper. That guy's a movie star, and he's even more of a movie star now than when this movie came out. So he gets out of the car like a movie star. Zach Galifianakis can't get out of the car like a movie star. He just get out of the car like a regular person. So I just really like that. It makes me laugh every time.
That is brilliant direction, actually, by Todd Phillips. To like towards the end of the movie when he's trying to copy everything that he does, and he like has his hair. He's like, "Is my hair as cool as his?" And he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all that stuff, and yeah, but that is some brilliant direction by like you're just gonna get out and trip, like yeah. And
it's also really funny when they're doing the speeches on the roof, and Bradley Cooper's about to do his speech, and Alan just like interrupts him.
I have something to say.
Yes, one of my favorite jokes was, "Hello, everyone. How about that ride in?"
and it's great acting by Galifianakis because he's like reading something that he wrote, but he's so nervous. He's like, once there was two of it. Now there's four. Once I was
literally stole this movie. He literally stole this.
He ran
movie.
away
like,
with it.
He's insanely funny. Like from start to finish, he's insanely funny.
He ends up getting the MVP, I think, of this movie for sure because it spawned him like doing that, due date comedy with Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
He did this character for so long, and then I think he's gotten out of it. Like, I mean,
has he?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think he did some other FX shows. Like, of course, he does the weird comedy with Between Two Ferns, where it's sort of the awkward character.
The awkward same character of like he says awkward things to actual famous people and watch them react to it, which was hilarious.
Never interested in watching that.
Which was hilarious.
The Between Two Ferns movie is actually incredible. I love that movie so much.
I never watched the movie, but I always liked the YouTube videos.
My favorite thing from that is the outtakes. It just is because they're all in on the joke because you're not going on the show if you're not in on the joke.
Yes,
right.
So like,
well, it's like
he interviewed the president, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, they know that they're going in for like this. They know they're going to be asked like weird questions, but Galifianakis is like the only condition of this is you cannot know the questions. And it's like, and they're like that. I think he lost out on like an interview with Oprah, Hillary Clinton, and I believe Bernie Sanders because he wouldn't let their teams have the questions.
I thought he did have a show with Hillary Clinton. I know he did Obama.
Yeah.
And also he gives them jokes to like roast him back and stuff like that. Yeah. So it I don't know. I think
for me personally, I was like, I'm good on Zach Galifianakis outside of the Hangover movies. I don't need any more. That's it.
Well, they did too much with it after this. I think he was a long time stand-up, and his stand-up stuff is really funny too. But yeah, he was like in Birdman. Like he's been in some interesting stuff, and he's had a really good career after this. But it definitely spawned. I think the best person that I've seen do this kind of awkward character bit was Jesse Plemons in Game Night, and that's the best thing that I've seen somebody replicate this since. And he was
Jesse
even
Plemons is also like just
an incredible actor. Yes. It's so weird because it's like that he's going against type when we see Game Night, which is what makes it so funny. Whereas we don't really have anything to compare it to when we're watching The Hangover. We're just like, whoever the hell this guy is stole the movie, and he's on the screen, and this movie is going to make $1 billion. But this guy made me laugh every time he was on screen, and so we're going to put him in more shit.
There's some stuff that I think he improv'd a lot. Like they actually had, it's not great, but they had to steal the shot when he's jacking his little weenus was the shot they had to steal because the kid's mother walked away and the dad was like, this is just the dad was like, yeah, do the joke.
And of course.
Wait, they didn't want to do it in front of the mom?
No, the mom didn't want to do the joke, and the dad was like, sure. So
I'm glad they did that.
They improv'd a lot of. I think they improv'd a good bit of this movie, which is very much of the directorial style of a lot of this early 2000s comedy that you see with Phillips and I'm sorry, who's the guy? Will Ferrell's directing partner.
You talking about the guy who did Vice?
Yeah.
Oh, Adam McKay.
Adam McKay. Yeah, Adam McKay does the same thing where they'll just like it's like Anchorman. Well, they'll shout lines at you that they think are funny, and they'll just do it. Of course, the famous "What Do Tigers Dream Of" song was improv.
Incredible, just amazing to this.
That thing got way too much play. Actually, that thing was way too popular. I will say,
fault. I am sorry.
I think it's funny, and I remembered every word to it. Surprisingly, not surprisingly.
Is it funny though? Is it?
I fucking died.
Don't you worry, a little strap it, and we're gonna get you
back to a little tiger bed.
Yeah. We're gonna find
the best friend.
Sorry.
No, keep going. Keep going. This is podcast.
No, it is.
I will say,
I'm watching the Twitch stream right now. We just lost 45 followers.
And then we're shit out of luck.
Apollo Media has just shuttered its windows.
Speaking of, go Astros. We clinched the division. ALS champions. What it do?
Let's not talk about this.
Nah, it's fine.
This is how we make our money, bro. We got to talk about it.
The soundtrack in this movie is so of the time, but it is so good. They pay. I think most of their money for this went towards the soundtrack for this. The budget went towards the soundtrack for this movie.
I will say it did get a little like jukeboxy for me, and I think there was like one scene in particular that I wish like didn't happen with the music. So it was like the transition from like when they go into their night in Vegas. I think it was playing "Yeah" by Usher, and then it like goes straight into that song like when they're going through the villa, like showing the destruction or whatever. I'm like, I think it would have just been this is just me being a pretentious film snob, but it's like I wish it was like they would have taken that like "Yeah" out of it and just like had a bunch of like random noises from that night playing as like the sun goes down and goes up, and then go into the villa and play the song that they were playing or whatever. Because I was like, I feel like that would have given a little bit more of like because it's just like without that, it was like, oh, it's just a random shot of the Vegas skyline, and all of a sudden you're just like,
oh, it was Can't Tell Me Nothing though.
That's
what it
was.
That was the one where I was like, "Oh, this soundtrack is awesome!" Like,
it's one of those things where it's like, if I know too many of the songs, it just like you just can't stop noticing that you know songs. Yeah, like Cruella had the same problem where it's like you know all these fucking songs, so it's like, of course they use Can't Tell Me Nothing. Of course they use, whatever other songs
they use. The wedding singer sings Candy Shop, which is a great touch right
there. Okay, that bit that Todd Phillips does,
hilarious.
That bit that Todd Phillips does in his movies, he did it in
Step Brothers.
Well, no, he didn't do Step Brothers. What was the Will Ferrell?
Isn't that same wedding singer dude in Step Brothers after they do the? I might be mixing it up with something.
It is shit. Somebody is screaming at me right now.
Joker when they're singing Frank Sinatra.
Send in the clown.
It is Old School. He's the wedding. Every time I turn around, I get another fucking look in you. Turn around every now. Get a little bit tired. I see the fucking look in your eye. And it's an actual band. It's like an actual wedding band. They're called the Dan Band, and I think they're in LA. But they did the same bit in Old School where they're singing that, but then they do Candy Shop in this, and they're just kind of like stunned looking at it. It's funny every single time that they have to do it.
Royden, you should look up their prices and see if they can do a wedding short.
I was just about to say, Royden, I don't remember if you're having a band or a DJ or whatever at your wedding, so no disrespect, but wedding singers, they suck. Get a DJ. It's better every time.
No, I put my foot down on that. Actually, I was like, first of all, wedding, what a racket. Wedding bands are like way too overpriced. Like, I was the DJ basically for my brother's wedding. They didn't pay me shit. and everybody had a great time. I just had a Spotify playlist. Everybody had a great time. Wedding singers are going to come in there and try to sing "Yeah" by Usher and butcher it, and then you just have to pay them $10,000.
Yeah, you got Amethyst from the coffee shop next door coming in to sing Candy Shop, and then it's like, that's gonna be $1,500, please.
What a racket.
You can only have the wedding singer if you're also springing for the open bar, because everyone has to be incredibly drunk to dance to the wedding singer and like pretend that these covers of the Cupid Shuffle and whatever
just are better than the original ones.
Yeah, like
even a bad DJ is going to be better than the best wedding singer.
You're going to be listening to Cupid Shuffle Taylor's version.
Yeah, so that bit that they do in those movies is funny, but the soundtrack to this, it's super. Yeah, it's all over the place, but in the air tonight. Let's see, Joker and the Thief.
Joker.
Let's see. Yeah, no. Well, yeah,
oh God.
Yeah. Fuck exclamation point.
Foreshadowing.
Can't tell me nothing. And then of course you spin my head right round, baby, right round at the very end of the movie.
Yes.
Flow Rider.
Shout out to Flow Rider, just always getting the check, just at any moment.
Making like 3 hit songs.
Yeah. Shout out to the sneaky cameo from Kesha in that song.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen a better use of Joker and the Thief than when they're gambling. Actually, it's an incredible scene though, too, because Bradley Cooper's like flipping off. They think they're going to be like, oh, they're going to get caught, and like they just subvert that because Bradley Cooper's like flipping off the cameras and being like, fuck you, and like all this stuff, and they just, oh, the pit boss is watching you, and then they just like, nothing happens. They just get away with it. It's a very funny scene.
The Vegas wife just completely buying into this plan and helping them out immediately. No prompting. Just incredible. This is why you wifed her up. She's amazing.
Yeah, I don't really have I think the one thing that I actually got, and we're the 3 best friends that anyone could have, and we're the 3 best friends that anyone that got repurposed and shot around a lot. But y'all down to do movie cameos? Anything else you want to talk about in this movie?
I'm personally finished. I've run out of Rob Riggle jokes, so I'm good.
Them just like finding him on the roof after 2 days is kind of whack, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It was like, oh, he's on the roof, we gotta go back.
Yeah, he's just sitting here, just dying, just on the roof in Vegas.
Just sun bleached, just
literally dead.
135 degrees out here. He's just chilling.
Coming down from the bender of his life.
Yeah, no water, no,
just vibes.
Not a Pedialyte, not an Advil in sight. This man
not
is
a Mountain Dew rise to be seen.
Like, there's no way that he'd be able to like stand up at his wedding. He'd be like, "Oh, we gotta go to the hospital."
This man is dying. This man is done.
Wheeling a corpse down the aisle.
Oh,
he needs an IV. He needs a stomach pump. He needs an IV.
That Vegas sun is no joke. That Vegas sun is no joke. That guy would have been definitely on life support.
No, he would have been. That
Vegas sun is no joke.
They would have found him. They would have found him, and he would have crevices in his body just from how dry it was.
I do like that they give him a little bit at the end where Bradley Cooper is just kind of, all right, guys, we actually gotta get rolling. You're actually kind of taking it. It's like, you fucking asshole.
Been on this roof for 2 fucking days.
Yeah, it was like, actually, you're kind of wasting time. Like, shut up. Oh my God. All right. We're gonna do best movie cameos right after this ad break from Apollo Houston. I'll be right back. Recording pause.
Did Gordon just quit the pod mid-pod?
I think so.
Oh,
mid-pod.
I think we're done.
We got this. I mean, I guess I'm the Roy now. So.
I'm absolutely going to win this draft. This is an easy draft. This is very.
I don't know.
So easy.
I don't know.
Easy for me.
I am going to just off the rip say I am not winning this draft.
I'm winning this draft. I love when celebrities play themselves in movies. It's like one of my favorite things. I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Oh shit, we gotta have an order. Let's do. Somebody else pick the order. I pick the order every time. Somebody else.
All right, the order is going to be Derek, Tej, Royden, Dex.
Done.
Derek. All right. Derek, Tej, Royden, Dex. Best celebrity movie or just movie cameos. Derek, Tej, Royden, Dex. All right, Derek.
The celebrity has to be playing themselves. They cannot be playing a character. They have to
Wait.
be them. They have to be playing themselves.
No.
That takes my understanding.
Yes, the whole point is Mike Tyson is in this movie not as an actor. He's literally Mike Tyson.
Oh God,
the draft
that narrows this down.
That ruins everything.
You can't just pick Matt Damon showing up in Deadpool.
Why?
Because he's not Matt. Because he's not playing Matt Damon. He's just
Matt Damon showing up in Ragnarok.
I mean, he is literally. God damn it! All right.
Oh, there goes Brad Pitt and Deadpool 2 for me. Fuck.
All right.
God damn.
This is going to be a hard Google. Holy shit.
No, bro, it's actually easy as fuck. I'm looking at
an easy as hell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. 5 seconds ago, you're like, I am not winning this draft. And then now it's an easy fucking Google.
I win a lot of drafts. This is not one of the ones that I'm winning. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I guess my first pick is going to be Bill Murray in Zombieland.
That is a great pick.
That's a great
one. Really good pick.
That is a fucking amazing pick.
Yes. I haven't seen Zombieland in a little bit, but I remember that part specifically being so funny because it was just like Bill Murray just being like, yeah, I disguised myself as a zombie, you know, just like hanging out.
And then they shoot and kill him.
and they kill him. And he has the most prolonged death scene I've ever seen. Just like, well, you know, I was gonna die. Like he's just being Bill Murray. And it's very funny. And the fact that they shoot him and kill him is so great.
That's a very funny bit where he's like, just don't worry about it, man, it happens.
He's like, I get
Bill
it.
Murray's one of the funniest people on the planet. He comes into a zombie movie to play himself. How can that not be good? And of course it's fucking incredible. We love Bill Murray. Shout out to Bill Murray.
Yep.
Also, he's like, and he keeps on going, and then he cracks. He goes, I'm sorry, it gets me every time. All right, Tej.
This is an easy choice for me. I'm picking John Malkovich and being John Malkovich because quite literally the greatest movie of all time. Well, not really, but I love this film. John Malkovich is amazing. I love him in everything. I just fucking love this film, and I love his performance in this film. What a weird fucking movie that he was like, sure, let's do this, and it's great, and everybody should see being John Malkovich.
Is that movie about John Malkovich?
No, it's actually about. Have you never seen this film?
I've seen it.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's not about John Malkovich. Actually, somebody, a main character finds like a portal where when he goes to the portal, he gets to be John Malkovich. So it's
such
really
a
about
weird
this
concept
character.
for a movie.
It's extremely weird, but it is fucking fire. I love it. It's a great.
It's film. Charlie Kaufman, right?
Charlie Kaufman, yes.
Yeah.
If they couldn't have I thought Spike Jonze did that movie.
No, it's Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Wait, was it? Was it Spike Jonze?
I can't remember now.
No, because I remember whenever
Spike Jonze, her,
who?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Spike Jonze. It is Spike Jonze.
Spike Jonze. Look at him.
Her? What?
Where the wild things are?
It is Spike Jonze.
No, Charlie Kaufman did the one with where he's the writer, where Nick Cage is the writer and he has a twin.
Yeah.
What you're thinking of?
I remember that.
I just sworn that was.
No, Charlie Kaufman wrote it.
Oh,
that's what it is. I was gonna say I thought Charlie Kaufman was involved. Okay, he wrote
Look
it,
at you,
but it's directed by Spike Jonze. I was gonna say, how did I get that so wrong? But now I get it.
I was gonna say, I feel my world is being shaken right now. I don't know what to believe anymore.
All right. You think if they couldn't have gotten John Malkovich for that, they would have is like being.
It would have been being Keanu Reeves or something.
Yeah, like whoever they could get, just fill in the blank here.
Being Helen Mirren.
Oh my God, being Tommy Lee Jones.
Being James Vanderbeek.
Being Will Smith.
Being James Vanderbeek is hilarious.
All right, my one, since we're having to do people as themselves, I didn't know this was the one. All right, still mad about this. Whatever. Channing Tatum as himself, and This Is the End. As Danny,
really good.
As Danny McBride's sex slave. is he just shows up. He's like, he takes off his mask. So fucking what? He's like, what's up, guys? Oh my God. If you haven't seen that movie, I think it ages better and better every single time, because it's such a dumb concept that they're just like, we're all going to be ourselves, but not really.
I like the Danny McBride period was a fun time to be into TV and film. Danny McBride was good. He's still good, but he doesn't.
I need him to bring back Righteous Gemstones. I need it.
It's so coming. Good. Yeah, it's coming.
That show is incredible. Like, I need more.
All right, Dex, 2 picks.
All right, so I'm gonna take Keanu Reeves and Always Be My Maybe.
God damn it!
Are we on the same list?
Probably, but that movie is hilarious because I love Ali Wong, and then like Keanu Reeves just showing up as Keanu Reeves, and Ali Wong being like, "Yeah, would." It's just incredible concept for me. And then my other pick is going to be LeBron James and Trainwreck, because like that movie otherwise is pretty terrible. But I was like, yo, LeBron
is that James. A cameo, or is he actually just like a character in that movie?
I mean, he's kind of a character, but yeah, he was
as
like the only
LeBron
good part
James
of that movie.
Counts.
He was LeBron James. Yeah, because Amy Schumer's not funny, but LeBron James was. It's not funny how that works.
Amy Schumer aggressively unfunny. That is true.
LeBron James could do Trainwreck, but Amy Schumer could not do Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Let's talk about it. Let's take it there.
Facts.
My next pick is Neil Patrick Harris in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yep.
That is so funny because I believe at the time everyone knew he was gay, but like him coming out and just being like, I gotta get some pussy. Like, where is this? He's like, I'm sorry I stole your car, so here's some money. He's like, dude, can't believe you did that. He's like, yeah.
Wait,
it was
did
really
you steal my pick? Who'd you just pick?
Neil Patrick Harris and Harold and Kumar.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think everybody knew at the time he was gay. And so, but then him be like, I made some love stains in the back seat, so here's some money for that. and he goes, he's like, dude, I can't believe you did that. He's like, yeah, it was really fucked up. I'm sorry. That's why I'm paying for your meal. He's great in that. He's in all of it. I think he's in every single one of those films too.
Yeah, they bring him back in all of them.
Awesome. All right.
It's on me, I think.
Yeah, teach.
I'm taking the legend Stan Lee in Mallrats. Obviously, Stan Lee has made a lot of cameos, but he never plays himself. But in Mallrats, he's actually Stan Lee.
Sure.
And I love Mallrats. He's great in that cameo. Rest in peace to the legend Stan Lee.
Thanks. R.I.P. Gone too soon, kind of.
He was so young. He had so much.
Kind of.
Derek,
my turn. 2? Okay. I'm gonna take the legend David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Oh my god! I forgot about that.
How could you forget about the Hoff in the SpongeBob
where his
SquarePants
chest
movie?
spreads apart?
Yes. And he uses his pecs as like a propulsion device to launch SpongeBob and Patrick back into Bikini Bottom. I love that movie unironically, like still to this day. I think it's hilarious.
It's so good.
And just the addition of David Hasselhoff was so random. I think I only knew David Hasselhoff when I was a kid, when I watched that movie because of America's Got Talent. I didn't know him like from like Baywatch or like Knight Rider or anything like that. But it was like I was just like
that drunk hamburger video on YouTube.
I think I might have known him from that. But I was just like, that's a sad man on TV.
Yeah.
But
Big
I was
sad
like,
boy.
I saw him and I said, goals.
I knew who he was, but I had never like actually seen any of the
Yeah.
stuff that he was in. I was just like, I just knew his name was David Hasselhoff. Like
Yeah.
you hear
Oh
about
my God,
him.
You make
Like,
me feel so old.
What a name.
I don't know who
That's what it
David
is.
Hasselhoff is.
That was
Who
definitely
he
for all the parents that had to go sit to that movie for them to be like,
yeah.
I said,
Ha.
oh shit, David Hasselhoff.
Before I was old enough to find porn or watch porn because the internet wasn't really
There was
wasn't it
Baywatch.
out. There was
David
SpongeBob.
There was the
Please
SpongeBob
put some
SquarePants
respect.
movie.
There was David Hasselhoff and SpongeBob.
You watch that scene of his chest spreading open over and over again. He said, "Well, this is a secret mousing tool that's going to help me later." You burn that onto. You burn that onto. I
found out something about myself watching SpongeBob that I didn't know.
Achievement unlocked. Questioning.
Questioning. Baywatch was one of those things where a lot of people found out a lot of things about themselves in the early 80s.
Oh, I learned some stuff about myself too.
All right, Derek.
And then my third pick, I guess, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane.
Yes, as himself. Hey, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes. I recently watched, I think I watched Airplane during the pandemic because I was like, I've never seen this movie. So fucking funny.
It's still really funny.
It's still so really funny. And just the random addition of like, hey, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He's like, no, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, my dad says that you don't play any defense because you're so stuck about scoring offense. Listen, kid, tell your dad if he had to drag Walton up and down the court for 30 minutes, he'd come and talk to me.
I think that's one of the best comedy movies ever written. It's so fucking funny, and just his addition is great. So that's my third pick.
Roger, what's your vector, Victor? Yeah, listen, kid, you tell your dad if he had to drag Walton Lambeer up and down the court. Just so fucking funny.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the god himself, Steve Carell, Knocked Up, when he's on the red carpet. And she calls him an asshole. That woman sucks, and she hates that film, and that film is awesome, so I don't like Katherine Heigl, but I really like that moment between her and Steve Carell, because Steve Carell is hilarious. So
notoriously fun to work with, Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone loves her.
Hollywood darling. Everyone loves Katherine Heigl. She doesn't take herself seriously at all.
Thursdays on CBS.
Everyone loves you might have invented $1 million idea.
Right, coming soon to Apple TV Plus. Everyone loves Katherine Heigl.
My next pick is Donald Trump in Home Alone 2.
How dare you?
I'm kidding. I'm not taking it. I just wanted to get that out there before I scrolled past.
That's a hard stance for the one take pod.
Guys, he was our president.
We're getting canceled.
Oh no!
No, the fact that we
previously stated, if we ever get canceled, he's gonna mean it.
And I don't mean this. But it is crazy that a bunch of people in Middle America, they were like, that dude from Home Alone 2? I might make him my president.
I saw him at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Good Lord Almighty.
I love The Apprentice.
My actual one is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back as a Goodwill hunting season.
Yes.
Where they go, it's hunting season. They blow a guy away with a shotgun, and Gus Van Sant is sitting back in the corner counting his money. It's so fucking funny. So yeah, that is since we can't do Matt Damon, the cameo god, he'll just do anything.
Yeah.
He'll just show up on your set for a day and pop up in your movie and leave. I love that about him.
I will say I had some of the best cameos on this list until we
Euro
had
Trip
stupid stipulation about they have to be playing themselves.
Yeah. Him and Euro Trip showing up and singing Scotty Doesn't Know is very funny.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Few people enjoy being famous like Matt Damon.
Yeah, I think he really gets a kick out of it. All right. Dex, 2 picks.
So I'm going to take Margot Robbie in The Big Short.
Oh,
stopping the movie to be like, I'm Margot Robbie and I'm hot. I'm going to explain to you this scam.
Let me explain to you this financial scam, and I'm also going to look incredible the whole time.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie in a bubble bath.
We learned something.
She's really in a bubble bath. Like, how can you not?
And I'm also going to take just Miles Teller and Project X. Them just going to the liquor store and being like, yo, You're Miles Teller.
Aren't you Miles Teller?
The actor. Yeah.
Famed Hollywood actor Miles Teller.
And then he pulls up to a high school party in a party bus, like for no reason. So yeah, those are my picks. Margot Robbie and Miles Teller.
That's very funny, actually. The Miles Teller is just they didn't even give a shit to change his name. Aren't you Miles Teller? They go, holy shit, it's Miles Teller. That is a line in the movie.
And then he's just like, hey guys, what's up? Don't mind me at this game.
Oh my god, that movie's so bad. Anyway. My next pick is legitimately, and I actually am serious about this one. Michael Jackson in Men in Black 2 as Michael Jackson.
Yes,
it's very funny for him to be an alien. They're just like they just make him an alien. They're like, yeah, the joke is very funny, and the fact that he did it after all the surgery and everything else is crazy. It's crazy that they got Michael Jackson in Men in Black 2.
I have just completely memory hold this. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Look it up. It's just Michael Jackson.
I used to love Men in Black, like the whole series as a child. I just completely memory hold it.
It's shocking to see Michael he just shows up.
There's nothing that we as Americans love more than to see our superstars make fun of themselves. Every time Drake goes on the ESPYs and makes fun of himself, people are literally fainting on the TV screen. Oh my God, Drake has such a great sense of humor. We just like to see them make fun of themselves because we feel like they all take themselves very seriously, which they might, but you show up on screen for 10 seconds and make fun of yourself and we'll love you. We just need to see Beyonce show up in someone's comedy and let them just completely roast Beyonce for like 5 minutes and she'll never become even more popular.
She'll
never do it, but she
doesn't fucking have to.
It would be hilarious.
I want her to show up on SNL as Maya Rudolph is doing Beyonce.
Yes. I just want her to walk on stage and she has to, Beyonce, we want you to make fun of yourself. I know that you watch this podcast, Beyonce, religiously. Please make fun of yourself. We love you. I would love to see it.
Beyonce listens to this as soon as she gets the Apple Podcast notification that we're live.
That's true. And any of you that are not doing the same are going against the religion of Beyonce. So you should be.
She said, Jay, Blue, the one take pod opened up to the new episode.
You will not believe the shit and piss jokes they make in this one, Jay.
And then Jay's like, your boy.
I'm gonna go back. Also, I know because it's early where I am. Thank God it's only 8:00 where I am. Because Royden brought this movie up, brought it back to my consciousness. I'm gonna watch This Is the End tonight. It's a great film, but I'm going to pick another person in this film. Obviously, everybody in that film plays himself, but I'm taking Michael Cera, and This Is the End. He was incredible. Shout out to Michael Cera, the God. He was such a sleazeball. Incredible content. I love Michael Cera, and he died in a pretty horrendous way. That was amazing. I love Michael Cera.
Who stole my fucking phone?
My fucking phone.
he's like doing cocaine and getting a blowjob in the bathroom. He's like, "Oh, hey Jay, it's so nice to see you." And he blows cocaine in McLovin's face, and he's just, "What the fuck is that? Cocaine?
Cocaine?"
Yeah.
I have to watch This Is the End again. It's been too
long.
My God. I used to love that fucking movie.
Long live Danny McBride. Long live Danny McBride. That guy has given us some incredible content.
Dude, Jonah Hill with the gun, that had a chokehold on like, my college group of friends. Like we said that shit every fucking day.
I will thank Danny McBride every day for what he has done to revitalize the Halloween franchise. So that's all I can ask for.
The funniest thing in that is that he just after the demon scene, so something not so great happened last night. So something not so chill happened last night.
How has nobody drafted the entire like NSYNC group? Or
funny you say that. No, I'm kidding. The power of Christ compels you. Oh, does it?
Oh, does it, Jay?
Does the power of Christ compel me?
let me tell you something. It's not that compelling.
My turn?
Yep.
All right, I'm closing us out with a real banger, y'all. Kevin Garnett and Uncut Gems.
Yeah, hell yes.
Oh, that should have been the first pick.
Why would you show me something if I can't have it? Why would you show it to me?
I thought I was going to win this draft. I don't think I won anymore. That's a great pick. Kevin Garnett is fucking incredible in that film.
That movie is so good. But like,
that movie gives me heart palpitations just thinking about it.
I love it.
As a person that suffers with anxiety, I have never been more anxious in a movie. And like literally at the last 15 minutes, I was like, I need to leave. I need to leave right now. Or I'm going to have an anxiety attack right here in this movie theater.
We watched that during the height of shutdown. And to add to that anxiety is not great.
Stream our Uncut Gems episode.
I saw that movie the day after Christmas. And I was like, what better way to celebrate the holidays than with pure Jewish stress?
Yeah.
I saw that movie with my little brother, who's 9 years younger than me. He's 17. So like we did Little Women and Uncut Gems back to back because they came out like at the same time.
Those are two very different movies. I would not pair those together.
They came out at the same time. I had the AMC A-list. I was like, fuck it. We just going.
I got 2 free movies.
Yeah, we just going. And so we saw those movies back to back. He was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Was it Little Women was it Little Women with an Uncut Gems chaser or Uncut Gems with a Little Women chaser?
It was Little Women and then Uncut Gems.
God damn.
That is a lot.
Man,
that is a horrible twosome of films.
So we're just like, oh my god, Amy March, look at her go. And then we get to Uncut Gems. We're just like, what the fuck is wrong with Adam Sandler? Why is he doing this? Stop this madness.
You went from watching Florence Pugh dressed like she lived in the 40s is when that movie takes place, and then you immediately went to Julia Fox,
the 1840s.
And then you went immediately to Julia Fox's ass, just taking up the entire screen and fucking The Weeknd in the bathroom. You watch these movies in the same night.
Oh, that could have been a cameo too. Weekend is The Weeknd.
The Weeknd,
right? Damn it!
Sorry.
Me and my teenage brother just fucking sitting there, just stressed out, watching Adam Sandler take out the garbage. Like, oh my god!
Teach killed a dog.
No.
Yeah, one of my dogs was like next to my chair, and I rolled, and he was not into it. He was not into that at all. I did not know.
Yeah, you went from watching Florence Pugh frown. She just went
to Adam Sandler try to get his dick wet. Like that's
to Adam Sandler texting his girlfriend, "I'm gonna come." Like,
holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Or like texting her, like, "Are you wet?" or something, like something awful.
Good lord, that movie.
This is how I wish.
The worst part of that movie is when it's literally him taking out the trash and then nothing happens. Where you're just like, oh, like
he's gonna get shot.
I was that stressed for nothing. I thought he was gonna get shot.
I have no idea how long you've been in this movie theater, but like Adam Sandler is taking out the trash and like this is what this movie is. He's getting shot. It's over. Like I'm done.
Like the fact that Adam Sandler got nothing for that movie is the biggest disgrace on the Oscars.
Yeah, he didn't even get nominated.
Love that.
Like
film.
Uncut Gems got nothing.
They disrespected him.
That's my favorite bit that he's ever said. He's like, if I don't get nominated for Uncut Gems, it's just gonna make the worst movie ever.
And I think that's how we got Hubie Halloween.
Yeah. He's like, whatever. I don't need an Oscar because I got like an 18 picture deal with Netflix, so like it doesn't really matter.
He said, I don't need an Oscar. Have you seen Grown Ups 2?
Yeah. Have you seen Jack and Jill? Have you seen Jack and Jill?
We're getting a literal 2 and 3 now. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
A literal 0 on on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, none of you took Al Pacino and Jack and Jill.
God,
how dare you?
Yeah, because I memory hold that movie. I said
Dunkachino.
That's trauma. Is what that is.
Dunkachino. Holy shit. Why?
Wait. There was another one I didn't take. Steve Buttkiss, I think is his name, is in Kicking and Screaming, that Will Ferrell soccer movie.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was the
Dickus?
coach of it was Mike Ditka, the coach of
Mike Ditka. That's
the coach of the Bears. He called him Juice Box Man.
I know your podcast is full of sports fans. I want to apologize to anyone that stands Mike Ditka.
You did like Dick Buttkiss and like
ass dick.
No, that's a literal guy's name, by the way.
Dick Buttkiss is a real name, but
Dick Butkus is a literal football player, coach's name, like that, not made up. But Mike Dick is very funny in that he calls a Hall of Fame coach Juice Box Boy, and literally Wade.
I went to an Airbnb in Chicago, and they had a painting of Dick Butkus hanging in the kitchen, and we were all just like, "What the fuck is wrong with y'all?" I thought we were joking. I thought everyone was telling Dick Butkus jokes. Y'all are dead ass.
I thought we were joking.
It's a very funny joke.
It's
a good joke. It down.
It's a great joke, even.
Another one that we missed, Chuck Norris in Dodgeball. Yeah. He just gives a thumbs up.
Oh, that's right. Just a thumbs up. Thank you,
Chuck Norris. Fuck you, Chuck Norris. Yeah, so that is all those cameos. Of course, there's 1,000 more by Matt Damon alone.
Yeah. I'm still mad about Brad Pitt and Deadpool 2. That was my silver bullet. I was like, I'm gonna get him.
What an incredible moment sitting in that theater and seeing Brad Pitt come down and go against the little electric wire. And you see that's Brad Pitt. That was so cool.
Brad Pitt's in the MCU now. It's canon.
Yeah, it is canon. Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street.
Yep, I had that one.
Yep.
I also had Stan Lee's final cameo in Avengers Endgame.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
I don't know if it counts as a cameo, but Matt Damon showing up in Interstellar and everyone just being like, "Holy shit, it's Matt Damon!"
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
He does that in these movies where he's just like,
"I think
I'm going to come in and just
hangs out near movie sets and just goes, "What are y'all filming today? Oh, I'll be in that. Just write me in.
Okay.
I'll just be a space bad guy for 5 minutes,
an absolute space villain."
Yeah.
It's so themed. Because he does it where it's like he won't even be on the credits, and then just all of a sudden it's just like, because he's famous, he'll be like, "Fucking Matt Damon."
Yeah, what the
and
fuck?
He's done it 15 times now.
He keeps doing it. He loves it.
Not only where
Ragnarok.
Well, not only that. I was gonna say not only that where he's like playing like a bit, like he's doing a joke, but like where he'll actually be a character that drives the story along. And it's just like, why? What is have a bigger role? What are you doing?
You're
on the credits.
So yeah, that is all of our stuff. Derek, we're gonna wrap up here. Tell us where they can find your musings, tweets.
Sure.
Spoken word.
Yeah, my spoken word album.
Okay.
My spoken word album, Wriggle Tony, is available.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Incredible.
This is my legacy.
Wriggle Tony.
My Twitter account, my Instagram is at Derek Fultz. You can follow both of those. I'm private right now, which is not very fun. I'm missing that sweet dopamine hit every time someone retweets a tweet of mine.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That's about it, really. I'm not doing much of anything these days. So have me on as much as you want. My schedule's free.
Awesome. All right. You can find us at the One Take Pod. It's number One Take Pod on all of your streaming platform or all of your social media platforms. It's the One Take Podcast on all of your streaming platforms, anywhere you get your podcast. You can also follow us at Apollo HOU. You can go to ApolloHOU.com to get all the dopest Houston merch. Use promo code One Take Pod. Is it One Take Pod? Yeah, One Take Pod.
One Take Pod.
Yeah, to get 10% off all of the dopest Houston merch. Thank you so much to everyone that watches us on our YouTube stream. You can also find us there, as well as Apollo HOU on Twitch. So go follow all of those accounts. But yeah, go subscribe to our YouTube account. You can get this episode as it airs, live and uncut. And then you can get the just literal uncut version like 15 days later, whenever.
Uncut gem.
Yeah,
the uncut gem.
The uncut gem.
Starring Kevin Garnett.
These gems, baby, they're uncut.
Oh God, somewhere there's a Rob Riggle uncut gems joke.
My gems uncut.
Yeah, we got
my knives out.
My
games squid.
Oh my God.
My mass midnight.
All right, we're ending this. Dex.
My Riggle robbed.
In the pod, guys, who are we supporting?
We hashtag support Florence Pugh at all times. It doesn't matter what she's doing on what platform. If just search Florence Pugh on every single streaming platform that you subscribe to, you'll find something. It'll be great. That's just how it works. Hashtag support Florence Pugh.
Tweet at her to break up with Zach Braff, please.
Yeah, we definitely need that. I got into a little bit of trouble.
Such a breakup.
I got into a little bit of trouble this week talking about Angelina Jolie in the weekend because I apparently have some like double standard that doesn't exist.
Ageism.
Let me just reaffirm that I hate when men date younger too, and then need Zach Braff and Florence Pugh to break up. So,
yeah, that's what we're talking about here too. People got weird about that on Twitter. It's like all jokes, and people were like, "Well, actually," and they're like, "Shut up! It's weird." It's weird.
30 years ago, when you weren't alive and Brad Pitt was dating someone younger, you weren't complaining. Like, yeah, okay.
You're right. I was barely a twinkle in my mother's eye. Like,
oh my God.
Didn't have an opinion, bitch.
Anyway, yeah, support Florence Pugh. We're out.